Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. So here you are for the 10th installment of the MassAutomation news flashes. So I remind you that every morning we have these, every Monday afternoon we have these calls. The goal is to inform the community of what's going on, what the new things are, and how far we are on our roadmap. So here we're going to talk about the automation part of Massa. Last week you had the same, but for decentralized web. So we alternate one week over the other. And without further ado, here is to remind you of the general roadmap of the automation part. And we are now finishing the first milestone. The goal is Q4 still. So we have improved massively the tooling. So if you're a developer, continue playing with it. It's really cool. And give us feedback. We have created Sintra, which is the app that showcases autonomous smart contracts as a recurrent payment system. It's working. Um, we are now finishing the autonomous smart contract with guaranteed execution, which is a new form of autonomous smart contracts in Massa that will allow people to that will allow smart contracts to reserve future calls with 100% certainty. So they know it's going to happen, not like a transaction where you hope that somebody's going to include it in the block. Here, there's a guarantee of 100% that if it's reserved, it's going to happen in the future. And this is unique to our knowledge. Only Massa will have that ever. So that's where we are. So if we zoom a bit more, first of all, the guaranteed execution ASCs. So as a reminder, the idea is we allow smart contracts to reserve calls that will happen in the future at a given date. So this allows stuff like automation to happen without relying on any external systems. So we have finished developing the code base. The tooling is deployed. We have added metrics. We tested on LabNet. We have deployed, updated the APIs regarding this new system. We have integrating with mainnet 2.3 in the beta version. We added storage costs for parameters because storing these future calls costs some space, so we had to account for that to avoid flood. We calibrated the ABI gas so that to allow basically the right amount of gas to be allocated to this ABI call. And we have now merged the code base of the guaranteed execution autonomous smart contracts with the next version of the Massa node. So expect a huge update soon regarding the Massa node. We are running a lot of tests to make sure everything is fine, but nothing crashes. So expect that whenever this is finished, we are going to, if you're a node runner, we're going to have to ask you to update the nodes because there's going to be a lot of novel things that are very useful. So in progress, we are still reviewing the code base, the tooling, the API, the SDK to make sure that everything is clean, still testing, still writing examples. And something that was done recently, we calibrated the economic constants of the system. So we have some constants to calibrate to make the system work as a future price predictor. And versioning is important because not everybody updates the node at the same time. So we need a system where we make sure that when we release the updated version on our nodes, it's only later that the actual update is applied when everybody has migrated. So this is kind of I would say the trickiest part that takes the most time. It takes more time than the actual features. That's interesting. And on the horizon, as soon as this is ready, we are going to deploy on BuildNet. So builders will already be able to play with the autonomous smart contracts new version. And that you're going to see it's very powerful. Then we are currently working on slightly updating the Massa smart contract standard for NFTs, MRC 721. So until now, we did not have the extensions enumerable and metadata, which prevented platforms from listing all the NFTs owned by a given address efficiently. So this is going to be added to make it possible. And actually, the reason why we do that is the following. We want to fully decentralize the MNS. And it's almost fully decentralized already. So the front end is already decentralized. The back end is decentralized. The only thing missing is listing the MNS owned by a wallet. And thanks to this update, we'll be able to do that efficiently. So this is kind of the missing piece that we need to migrate in the upcoming weeks to make the MNS manager fully decentralized. Then a lot of you have been asking about progress on the MetaMask Snap. So we have granted, actually the foundation has granted people who have built the MetaMask Snap. We have tested it on our side. It's working. We have gone through a first layer of audits using an external company that audited the security of the MetaMask Snap. They had some feedback, and we had also some ideas. We updated everything according to their recommendations, and now we sent the rest for final review by the auditing company. As soon as we have the audits ready, the next steps will be to officially publish the MetaMask Snap. So this is gonna be quite intense. In terms of tooling, on the node, we have reworked the OpenRPC specifications. So if you are a developer, have a look. It's way better explained now. It reduces the entry barrier for developers. In Massa Web 3, we have added support for Execute SC. If you don't know about it, Execute SC is something very unique to Massa. It's a bit like a multi-call, but even more powerful because you can essentially execute arbitrary code without it being a smart contract, just in the name of your own account. And this is extremely powerful, and we want to make it available to everyone. So this is something that already exists in Node, but was not exposed to Massa Web 3 so far, and now it is. We are also going to add the capability to sign arbitrary data, especially strings, so that people can prove ownership of an address without having to actually sign any proper transactions. And finally, to showcase the Execute SC feature, we are going to add examples in our system. Yeah, that's about it. In terms of, I forgot to add a slide here, but in terms of recruitment, we are getting a new person on the automation side. So get ready to say hello to that person, a new developer, Andre. So not fully signed yet, but it's gonna arrive in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, that's about it on our side. I'm gonna have a look at your questions, and if you have more questions, feel free to ask. So, first question is, considering the US becoming more relaxed towards privacy features and coins, where is the future plan for privacy Twitter features on Massa? I'm not sure what privacy Twitter features you mean on a blockchain, but for privacy features, we are actually working closely with Starknet and Polygon. We are learning how to use ZK proofs. As soon as we are very aware of everything and really state of the art on everything on that side, we are going to think whether it makes sense for Massa or if maybe it would make more sense on the second layer or something. It's going to be a discussion by itself. But for now, we don't have privacy features in the protocol. That's something we can add later. But we are in discussions already with big partners on that topic, and we have already some ideas. But for now, we prefer not to promise anything yet. Hello, Damir. Any idea when is marketing? Because we are almost at the end of the bull run. Well, we're working with the foundation on the marketing side, so I'm not responsible for the marketing. It's the foundation. But on the foundation side, there's been a lot of news. So there's going to be new partnerships that are going to be announced. There's going to be quite a few partnerships that are going to be extended. There's going to be more visibility. We're going to continue making these calls regularly. We're going to continue having all the news announced, partnerships, everything. For now, I prefer that you get the information directly from the foundation. So feel free to ask them directly in the chats. It's their thing. But just to tell you, don't worry. There's a lot of things being prepared for marketing, but we cannot just snap a finger and suddenly there's marketing. It requires a lot of work, a lot of preparation, but we have a whole calendar of publications. There's going to be blog articles, there's going to be partnerships, so get ready for that. NFT news are great. Yeah, actually, this is really cool because it's going to actually allow us to fully decentralize everything related to NFTs, because currently we rely on the kind of the explorer to list the NFTs owned by someone, and this is highly suboptimal. So this is going to be fixed very soon. Any AI agent projects on Massa building? Well, we haven't really found a smart way to have AI and blockchain together that makes any sense, honestly. The only, for us, it's mostly all kind of bullshit. The main things is that, as you may know, actually the founders of Massa are all researchers in machine learning, so we know exactly what we're talking about here. Um, we we think that there might be a way to do it, but I invite you to go on the forum, forum.massa.community, and there you'll find a proposal called service providers. And there in service providers, there's a small discussion about how we could do some LLM inference using Massa as a backend. But this is very preliminary, so for now we don't have anything big on the AI side. The main reason is that it's hard to find an idea that makes sense for now. Um, any new sex listings in contact? Well, we cannot, as always with centralized exchanges, we cannot say anything until everything is fully ready and signed, but we are in discussions with some of them. Lending, borrowing? Well, to my knowledge, there's a team that's been granted, and I think that they're building currently a lending borrowing platform on Massa. I haven't checked the progress. I need to have a look, but apparently they have made good progress. Also, if you're a team that's interested into building stuff, feel free to contact the foundation, and they have grants, so feel free to join. Massa Hub Wallet NFT integration will be much easier. Thank you. Oh yeah, I know. This was a bit of the pain point that we did not have this extension, and now it's gonna help a lot. Hello, do you have plans to connect with other chains like Base? Well, we already have a bridge that's connected to Ethereum. It's also connected to BSC. Um, so you can already bridge with these two. You have USDT, USDC. With Kima, if you have followed the announcements, with Kima, we are in a partnership where the goal is to build a cross-chain messaging system using Kima. And we already have a small demo that you can find on kima.massa.network, I think. Um, the idea is that we have showcased for the first time the capability. Actually, I'm gonna maybe show you directly. Kima.massa.network. Here you go. Um, here you go. This is the first showcase of an autonomous smart contract running uh, on Massa autonomously, so without any external systems. And this autonomous smart contract calls on a regular basis a smart contract that is hosted directly on Arbitrum. And it updates this log clock that is actually a smart contract on Arbitrum. Here it happened. So you have a message. And the message passing happens through Kima network, Kima Finance. So this is really cool. And but it's just a first step. Actually, if you look closely, everything is on chain. The website itself is hosted on chain. The backend is on chain. The front end is on chain. The domain name is on chain. So this is the first fully autonomous Arbitrum app, actually. So any idea to make staking easier? For staking, well, there's a lot of things there. There's different ways to stake. There's, in a way, staking through liquidity provision on Massa, on DUSA. This is already reasonably simple, so you can check their website, dusa.io, DUSA. I think you might be thinking about making native staking on Massa more easy. Well, the only thing we can do possibly is make node running simpler, and that's something we are currently discussing. If you go in the forum, we have asked some questions there about a node manager that will allow people to um, very easily launch a node and be able to stake. But for now, we have decided not to implement any kind of delegation, so you will need to run a node to stake. But node running is rather Sorry, is rather simple on Massa, so feel free to try it. You can find all the documentation on docs.massa.net. And in the future, yeah, we might have this graphical interface for node managers that might be of interest for you. Also, US-based companies, we get a big tax break. What plans do you have to take advantage of that? Uh, well, if we want zero taxes, we could also go to another country that has zero taxes, right? But technically, that's not our goal. We are established between Switzerland and France. The problem with US based is that uh, the security classification is very hard. If we are classified as a security, it contaminates foreign law. It's a bit complicated. So for now, we are avoiding a bit the US for this reason. Because the US law is extraterritorial and it creates many problems. Bridge to BSC, yes. If you go to bridge.massa.net, you'll see that we have bridged, I think, USDT from Binance Smart Chain. When will the big code update to 2.5 be released? Well, I don't know exactly, because we are currently finishing the implementation part, but we are also waiting for an external review. So we're being reviewed by Certic on what we have updated. So we depend on their response. I don't know how long they're gonna take to respond, and when they respond, maybe they're gonna require us to change more things, and maybe they're gonna find more problems, and we're gonna have to fix these problems before we move forward. So it's very hard to predict as of now, but we really hope to release everything by January. That's cool with Arbitrum, but why is it not on X? Well, actually, it is. If you go on X, uh, we have tweeted it. Uh, we have been retweeted by Kima Network themselves. They have 500,000 followers. Uh, so yeah, actually, we have communicated quite a lot around that. I've done this demo live as well at a couple of conferences. So this is actually been also published directly on all our socials multiple times. So feel free to have a look. You'll find it. Um, is the 10K max TXPS for Massa? Well, theoretically, given the current setup, it would be the maximum, yes. But as computers have massively improved and internet connections are much better than when we defined this constant, maybe in the future we could actually decrease gas costs, increase throughput without having to change anything in the protocol, just make blocks more frequent or bigger. But for now, we prefer to keep it safe, and we're still very far from that capacity. So we'll discuss this when we reach, I don't know, 1,000 transactions per second. 2.5 means DWeb mainnet. Actually, the node version is independent from the DWeb. DWeb is a service on top of the node. So the DWeb will be released independently from the node itself. So one doesn't block the other and does not depend on each other. Massa has a great future. 900 million market cap minimum. Well, let's hope for it. Let's hope. I don't know yet how things are going to evolve, but we are extremely motivated. We are extremely hopeful, and we know that we're going to ship some very big stuff that has never been done before in the coming months. So we really hope that the market responds. Well, we all know that the market does not always respond in a rational way, but we really wish that the best happens there. Any update on EVM compatibility? Yes, actually, we have started studying it. We are still in the study phase because it's a big, big deal. So we hope to work on that during 2025 and release it before the end of 2025. But it's big deal. It's a big one. Okay. Well, thank you, Maria, for sending the link to the X communication we have made for this. Actually, I'm gonna show you. So this is the massa.kima integration update that we have posted, and Kima on their side have also posted it. So we have both. Any other questions? Okay, if there's no more questions, that was exactly 20 minutes. Thank you everyone for joining. There's going to be one of those calls, remember, every Monday, so that you can follow, ask your questions, and we'll tell you exactly where we are at, if there's any blockers, if there's new stuff. Um, what's your opinion on Supra? Okay, so for those who don't know, Supra initially was Supra Oracles. It's an Oracle system, and now they are creating their own blockchain. And in one of their lives and a couple of their communications, they have announced something that looks like autonomous smart contracts. And I have actually managed to discuss with two people from Supra, one who is their director of research, and one at the conference who is their one of their BDs. Um, so this is still just an idea on their side. It's not implemented yet, and the ways it's implemented, uh, it's not everything is very clear yet because they haven't finalized the design yet. But they hope to have something where you can reserve future calls. They have not said anything about the economic system behind it, so I guess it's not finalized yet. Um, but the idea is that it does not guarantee timings. In Massa, we guarantee timings. There, they would only guarantee that it would be executed at a given block height. Here in Massa, we guarantee the exact time. Even if there's no block, it's still executed. So that's kind of for now, the design difference. But for the rest, they have not given any details. It's very preliminary. So we're pretty sure we're gonna have it before them. Um, we need more key memes on Massa. Yes, actually, that's up to you guys. I think recently a meme coin launched, right? Okay. Well, if there's no more questions, let's wrap it up. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the many questions. Keep some for next week. There's gonna be one call per week. So feel free to also ask your questions in the community. Feel free to follow us on the socials, and feel free to also check. Uh, Basically, feel free to also check everything related to what we publish in the different socials. Tell us if you have any ideas as well on the forums, forum.massa.community. This is a big one. Um, so yeah, that's about it, I think. You have mentioned something big is coming. Any hint on that? Well, what's big is many things. There's there's partnerships that are gonna be announced. So we have this big one with Kima already that you saw. Uh, there's one with Umbrella that we have teased. For now, we won't tell more. Um, there's gonna be also more to come. We are working on it, but as always, we cannot announce it before it's ready to be announced. So just keep in touch, participate in the forums. If you're a developer, feel free to ask for a grant or even contribute. Everything is open source, so feel free to check it out. And if you're a developer, also feel free to track what we're doing. You can see exactly what we're doing every day on our GitHub, Massa Labs. Okay. Well, thank you again, and see you next week. Good luck to everyone, and